Well, for more on the European Union's election report and the federal government's reaction, let's bring in the spokesperson of the Coalition of United Political Parties, Mark Adebayo. He joins us live via Zoom. It's good to have you join us on TVC News at 10. But first, let me hear, what's your assessment of the federal government's response to the EU's report?
The FG's response is expected, as it were, because you cannot expect the federal government, the presidency, to own up to a report that is so critical of an election that produced the president. Definitely, there will have to be some clarifications. There will have to be a response that is commensurate to the feelings of the presidency, and that is and I think Dele Alake really responded comprehensively enough. Whether you agree with him or not, but he responded comprehensively enough. That is my opinion about that, about the response.
But what if you take a look at the EU's report and the recommendations, particularly the observations they made during the election, what would you say to that? So would you say that the response of the federal government is on point when you take a look at how they responded today?
I would, for me personally, the EU report, especially in the critical areas of the report, I believe that generally, for me, it's almost an inauspicious occasion for that report to be released. Because for me, whatsoever the issues are, whatever the challenges were during the presidential election, all those issues, all those challenges, all those factors are being currently interrogated at the course of competent jurisdiction. And one would have expected all parties, whether you are an observer, a mission, you are a political actor, you are a non-political actor, you are a state actor, you are not a state actor, one would have expected that for the peace of our country, for the unity of our country, for the progress of our country, we should allow the courts to do their business and finish their business. And I would have expected this kind of report to come maybe about 3 months or so ago, so that all the issues raised therein are currently being interrogated at the tribunal. I probably will go all the way to the Supreme Court. So we have to wait for the courts to do their business. That is the best thing. That's my own response to that kind of the report. I would not say the report was good or bad, but I will say that what Nigerians are expecting now is not any other. It's not reports against many observer missions have given their reports 3-4 months ago. Some gave their own report, in fact, 1-2 weeks after the elections. What we are expecting now, what we are waiting for now, is the conclusion of the litigations in court, and then what the court will finally decide about this person. Because no report, no opinion matters anymore at this stage, because the cases are in court. As a matter of fact, we have to even be very careful the way we even discuss the issues that are already in court, so that we don't run sub judice. The cases are already sub judice, so we need to be very careful the way we make comments about it. Because the most important thing in this situation now is for us to support the judiciary to do a thorough job, to do a good job, and come out with their final, judgment about this case. It's not about reports, it's not about opinion, it's not about this or that. It is important for us to understand, to realize that we should not do anything that will supplant our judiciary. That is very, very important. So we need to allow the courts to do, because for me, the timing of issuing this report is almost a distraction, as far as I'm concerned, without prejudice to the contents and the conclusions of the report. I think the timing is something that I have serious issues with. I was expecting that kind of report to have come up. The election was concluded about almost 5 months ago. So even those of us, even at the local level, the non-governmental organizations at the local level have released their reports long ago. So coming now, you can see that it's creating a kind of distraction, as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't know the intendment for releasing that report at this moment, when the cases in court, even that parties are already rounding off their submissions at the court, and then this one is coming now, creating all manner of distractions for us. But
are you saying,
as for the recommendations, I think all political actors, including the electoral management body will have one or two things to learn about that. So about the recommendations.
Which is what INEC
that
has
is what
said.
all of us.
Should we give the EU audience, I'm asking that should we give the EU audience as a sovereign nation going by the history of our democratic process since 1999, particularly if you take a look at the recommendations, although you have said the recommendations are coming in a bit late, but should we be giving the EU audience, particularly when they give the assessment of our election as a sovereign nation?
Well, all election observer missions should be, we should just take the things that are useful for us as a country, as a nation, as a sovereign nation, and then make use of that. We do not, we are not bound by their recommendations, we are not bound by their observations, we are not bound by anything. What is because we are a sovereign nation. But the things that are there that are useful for us, that are useful for the health of our nation, of the health of our elections, you have to take those ones and imbibe them and operationalize them in subsequent elections. The ones that we know that will further help the credibility of our elections. We can't throw away everything they have said, but we cannot also absorb everything they have said, because this is Nigeria. This is not America. This is not Europe. This is not Britain. This is not France. This is not Germany. This is Nigeria in Africa. So we need to localize the things that have got the recommendations that will be able to work for us in subsequent elections. Like I said, yes, everybody agrees that there are challenges in 2023 elections. We have been having challenges in previous elections. President Yar'Adua, God bless his soul, was on record as an elected president to say that, look, the election that produced me was not flawless. So we are going to do something about it. And he kickstarted the process of electoral reform in this country, some of which are being utilized as we speak now. So we will continue to improve. We will continue to make progress in terms of our elections and our democratic processes. I believe that. Let's take what is important. I've read it. I saw some wonderful recommendations that are supported, but we are directly to your question. It's not as if we are bound by anything. It's an advisory. It's an advisory presentation that the country, especially the electoral management body, which is INEC in this case, to take and say, okay, maybe we can use this, we can do this, and then so I make progress. But as a sovereign nation, we decide the way we want to go, and I believe that the way we want to go is the way of credibility in our elections, is the way of transparency in our elections. But that we know that the challenges will be coming, different challenges, different elections. Then we continue to improve as we go on. So that is it. It's not as if it's that bad. The election that produced Joe Biden in America is still being interrogated up to now. The Republican Party are still crying foul and doing this and that, but they went through the legal processes, and of course, we know what happened to the legal processes. The judiciary finally settled the matter, and then the president is there. Let us allow recommendations, observations, whatever opinions you say does not matter in the court of law. For now, the court of law that will now decide whether the election went well or not.
For now, the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party are presently in court to challenge the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But till then, the president is telling the EU, let Nigeria
it's a constitutional legal right.
Thank you so much.
And that is the way.
Exactly. Thank you so much for talking to us on the news this hour. We've just been speaking with the spokesperson of the Coalition of United Political Parties, Mark Adebayo. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10.